What's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and welcome to my roster reviews, where we review yours, well, maybe not yours, but somebody's roster who's got in touch with me about it, and we check out everything they're working towards, all of their characters, all of their teams, and see if there's anything I would do differently. Now, keep in mind, guys and girls, you are a huge part of these roster reviews as well, because I really look forward to reading your comments at the end of all of them and see what you would do differently as well if you were to take over the roster we're about to look at right now. So, without further ado, let's get into it. What's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and today's roster review is for Mr. Rapture himself. He's part of those legends over at Ragnarok Resurrection. Now, I've got to put my hands up, right? I haven't got the best memory, but I'm pretty sure I faced these guys in war not too long ago. So, super looking forward to doing this one. Mr. Rapture has been playing for 506 days, and in that time amassed a collection power of 5.2 million, with his strongest team power being just shy of 500k. He spent about 300 bucks on the game, been more MVP 3 times, 139 of the characters collected out of, I believe at this point, 141. 34 of them at max rank, and his all-time arena rank is rank 13. So, in this, what we're specifically going to be doing is looking for great tunes to take up to Dark Dimension 3. Yay. 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 I hate it. I hate Dark Dimension 3 so much. It's literally the worst 30 seconds of my day times 2. And we're also going to be looking for war offense teams and seeing where we can get the most bang for our buck with those war offense teams to try and give him some good counter opportunities and whatnot when going into war. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Right, so top of the shop, we have got Karnak favorited, 147 shards out of 200, getting there towards 6-star. Very, very similar place to what I'm at as well with that Karnak, to be fair. Then that absolute beauty of a Black Bolt, 111k, pretty much 112k, 111k on, 101k on Hella there. Now, they are both gear tier 14. You can tell that by the gold ring around them and the fact that they don't need any gear. Symbiote Spider-Man is super close as well. Now, one thing to keep in mind when going into Dark Dimension, right, is you want to type of focus on at least 2 global characters to start with. Because your first 5 nodes, after your first 5 nodes, are going to include global characters. Then this combination of Hella Black Bolt is actually going to do quite nicely. I'm running at the moment Dark Dimension 3 with Black Bolt, Hella and Thor. And look, I'm not setting the world on fire, right? But I'm making decent damage per day into all of the nodes. So these guys are actually going to be super good. Ebony Maw is going to be a great addition to that to make like a real horrible threesome. But we need to be looking at global, because otherwise you're going to get stuck on them. And honestly, I think the global nodes so far, from what I've encountered, are awful. Like awful. They're the ones that make you want to quit Dark Dimension 3. After that, it seems to be easing up a little. Symbiote Spider-Man is a great shout for further on down the road for City, without a shadow of a doubt. Right, then we've got a 93k Captain Marvel, 78k there on Ebony Maw, 82k there on Phoenix, absolutely gorgeous. Will be super important to get that 7th star on her as well. Obviously, if the Asgardians are now built up, if the mutants are now built up, getting that 7th star on Phoenix is the icing on the cake, baby. Then we got Star-Lord there, nice little legendary there at 73k. Well worth taking up to 71 as his group for that extra focus between the two of them. Extra focus, extra resistance, especially for Star-Lord. Applying them blinds, level 71 to 75 is well worth it for him, without a shadow of a doubt. Right, then we go down to Mr. Sinister. Again, well worth taking up. Good global character as well for Dark Dimension 3. Then we got Thor there as well, 70. We got Thanos at 63k. I like it a lot. Well worth the level 71. He is going to be a battery power, a battery pack for a lot of teams going forward, right? So taking him up to 71. Carnage, in my opinion, Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage for Dark Dimension 3 are pretty much the go-to musts. And then everyone's like chilling type thing. So now we go again to Minerva down here at gear tier 14. So I'm basically, with Dark Dimension being a priority, right? We've got 1, 2, pretty much 3 there, so 3.5, 4.5. So Symbiote Spider-Man is going to be the next one up. But what we're going to face is, after those first 5 nodes, is trouble. That is big trouble. You need someone with Phoenix to try and do that additional damage through those global nodes. And Mr. Sinister could be a good shout for that, dude. But there are a ton of good global characters. But out of what's there already, Mr. Sinister could be a decent shout. We'll keep an eye out if there's anything else there, though. So Minerva there at 59k. Then we move down. We've got Ultron there at 58k. Ultron would have been initially one of my first picks for Dark Dimension, right? And he was one of my first picks. But honestly, I'll put my hands up, guys. He didn't really bring anything to it. Absolutely gutted about it, but he didn't really bring anything to it. He's well worth getting up to 75. Well worth getting up to gear tier 14. For like arena side of things and things like that. But as far as like a great character for Dark Dimension, he was found wanting, baby. He was found wanting. Then we've got a huge set of defenders up here, all between 56Ks and stuff. War Machine looking good there as well. Punisher, Fury. Right, moving on down. In fact, let me check that Sif. 7 stars on Sif as well. Nice. Spider-Man, Coulson at 50k. Yo-Yo at 50k, level 71. Mwah, beautiful. Get Coulson up to 71 as well. Well worth that extra focus on Coulson. As is Colossus at level 71 as well. Just to strengthen that already really strong Phoenix there, right? Nothing to stand out after that. Invisible Woman at 48k. I know a lot of people really rate her. I'm really still on the fence with Invisible Woman. I feel like she brings some value, but not huge value. I think level 70 is probably deserved, but not much past that. Shield Security with any tank, I'm gonna edge towards taking them up to 71. Now I know resources are finite, right? But you can do one of these guys to level 71 per day. And that extra focus, extra resistance is huge, especially for a tank. Well worth it. Strife is quickly becoming one of my favourite / unfavourite characters in the game. So I'd like to see him at 71 as well. Then we go down. Now, Magneto needs to be level 71, especially for war offense. If you're going to use the New Brotherhood to counter Coulson teams, you need him at level 71. He needs that focus to be able to apply that disrupt and that slow on Coulson early doors, so he doesn't go first, so he doesn't counter the Brotherhood team. You definitely need high focus on that Magneto. And at 5 red stars, right, it's well worth taking him up. Well worth taking him up. He's also global and does a good job in a lot of places, right? So just putting that out there, baby. Just putting that out there. Right, then we got Cable, we got Killmonger. We got really nice Cyclops there at 41k as well. I like it. Massive X-23 at 42k as well. Miss Marvel there at 43k. Level 64. Might be worth taking up. I think you've got to get to 65 so you can tier 4 her passive. I might be wrong, but her passive is obviously super important, right? Super important. Right, then we move down. Nice Negasonic there. Deadpool as well. I like it. I like it. Putting together a decent Supernatural team so far as well. Taskmaster there at 38k. We've got Toad there at 36, obviously part of that New Brotherhood, and really good for that extra focus when going into war as well. Blob there at 34, Squirrel Girl at 34, Shield Assault there at 34. So we've got a decent Coulson Fury team. Cull Obsidian, oh baby, 31k. Proxima Midnight at 28. Corvus Glaive at 30. I tell you what, this is the team. This is the team that you're looking to be more offensive in war. These are your guys right here. You've already got a great Thanos. You've already got a great Ebony Maw. Get Corvus, Proxima, and Cull up. They will not let you down. They are, in my opinion, the strongest team to take into war, bar none. Like, and they're also one of them teams that you can choose. Like, if you're going to have a bit of a casual war one day and you want to whack them in defense, that's cool too. They are a super good team, and probably, in my opinion, where you're sat at the moment, the team to focus on that will give you guaranteed counter to anyone that you want, and double up as a defensive unit if you need them, and also give you really good standpoints in the arena and stuff like that. They are the team, without a shadow of a doubt, that I would be focusing on at this point in time. Right, then we move down to the Minows. of the roster, you know, the likes of Yondu. It's a really small Black Panther, but to be fair, I've not seen anything crazy with the rest of the Wakandans either, so it type of is what it is. The Kree's there as well. Might be worth getting the Kree's up to 7-star just to finish off that that Nick Fury. Okoye there at 17. Shield Trooper. Hulk. Pretty much everyone that you expect to see down the bottom is down the bottom. And this is always a really good indication of how long you've been playing for as well. It's like the size of your Black Widow, your Captain America, your Yondu is always a really good indication, right? And a lot of us have wasted a lot of good resources on these characters that now don't get home anymore. One thing I will say is that Beast, 4 red stars on him as well. Super good character. You must have blitzed hard for him or bought the offer. And if you're going to be buying the offer or blitzing super hard, make sure you've got that gear to be able to go onto them, right? If you're going to work that hard to get one of the newer characters, like after you've watched the to buy or not to buy video, or you've looked at their kit and you're like, yeah, I want that character. Build them up, baby. Build them up. Right. So that is the roster. I'm definitely leaning towards Cull Obsidian and the rest of Black Order without a shadow of a doubt. But let's have a little look at these other teams, right? Right, so let's get into it. Top of the shop, as expected, is that absolutely beautiful Asgardian team. 101k Hela, 64k there on Thor. If I wanted to improve this team defensively, I would try and get a little bit more on Thor. Like in War, for example, Hela and Thor are the two big targets. Once you've got rid of either or, you're good as gold, right? You are absolutely good as gold. So with that Loki being 90k, getting any type of damage on Thor there is going to be really super spicy, baby. My favourite team to let me down. You know them. You love them. The symbiotes with Psylocke. I give up with them. I do. I give up with them. I love them. I think they're great. I think they'll smash up most. I'd give up with them personally. They're a great team though, dude. And I really like this one as well. One thing that could be put into here instead of Spider-Man could be Shuri. Especially with the Wakandans not being that great for you. Shuri could actually go in there and do a really nice job to make that a very, very, very strong team. Then we move down to the new BKT team. Looking really nice with Vision in there as well. I like it. I like it a lot. I've seen this team in action. They're absolutely gorgeous. Right, then we move down to probably the second best team in the game. And this is a really interesting lineup with Cyclops in there. I feel like these are the second best team in the game, whether they've got Cyclops, Psylocke, or Beast, right? They are still the second best offensive team in the game. Now, one thing that I will say with Beast, if you do build him up, you can actually put him into this team here, get rid of Quake, and you've got an amazing Emma Frost counter there, right? An amazing Emma Frost counter. In fact, this team with Beast will pretty much beat a lot of people, right? So getting rid of Quake, who's okay, she's all right, for Beast is actually a really, really, really nice move in War. Then we got 272k on the Defenders. You know what? It is what it is. I wouldn't be taking them up any higher. That is for damn sure. It's a solid team. And you know what? 272, 300k is a really good number to be aiming for with your teams, right? And then type of aiming for that 250 without red stars and then letting like the bricks fall where they fall type thing. This is a team that is absolutely solid there at 272 and I wouldn't be taking them up any higher than that. Right, then we go down to Captain Marvel with the Young Avengers here. I like it. I like this team a lot. I've been using this in War. It's not been netting me too many wins. I'll put my hands up. It's netted me a couple. But tier 4 in Miss Marvel's passive is absolutely essential. Now, I can't remember the level that you've got to get to with that. She might already have tier 4s in that. And if she does, then this is a solid team as is. If not, make sure she gets tier 4'd. And then they're pretty much as good as gold. Right. Offensive teams, here we go. Two of the big boys right here. Power Armor, Fantastic Four, both with absolutely great war bonuses. Now, with those war bonuses, it's the Falcon and the War Machine that are really going to do the damage in this. And I like the fact that Falcon is the biggest member of this team. Obviously, hoping that Rescue is big enough to survive that initial opening is really, really key. But this is a solid team, and this is well worth taking up to about 300k. If you can build on that Rescue a little bit, get that 7th star on Iron Man, build up on Ironheart, is well worth taking up to 300k. They do an insane amount of damage really, really quickly. They're one of the best burst teams in the game. You know, you play that Falcon special to get that turn meter for absolutely everyone. Offense up with Vision, and that is, sorry, with Rescue, and that is it. JD, job done. Ta-da. So if you're looking for a team to work up, they are actually really, really good. As is the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four have got huge, huge offense potential, and it's always really important to see the Namor. You know, Namor hits like a noodle. He really does, like a soft, soppy ramen noodle thrown in your face from no great speed. But in war, all of a sudden that ramen noodle turns into a truck. So he's got his uses. Unfortunately, his uses are literally 3 times a week. Make no jokes, this is a family-friendly video. Obviously, Mr. Fantastic as well. Well worth bringing up there as well, because he's got that call in the ally assist type thing. Get extra attacks, do a little bit more damage. Well worth doing it. And again, this is a team at your level, at your roster level. You want to be thinking about, right, can we take these up now to the next level? Can we get these guys to gear tier 12 and above type thing? But don't be taking anyone up to gear tier 13 at the moment if you're not going to gear tier 14 them. That is literally one of the biggest problems I've had personally, is I've taken too many people up to gear tier 13, gear tier 13 and a half, and then thought, you know what, I don't actually like you that. So be very careful about who you take up to 13. Don't waste those resources. This team here, however, holy moly, pump them full of gold, baby. There is no wasted resources in this team whatsoever. Now, it might be worth moving Thanos into the middle to grant some extra energy and stuff, and giving that extra energy over there to Ebony Moore could be really, really handy. Get that coal built up as soon as possible. This is going to be the biggest team where literally your alliance is struggling to hit one room, or you're like, oh, who do I use against that? The answer is always Black Order. Like, always. You know, I don't care what the question is, the answer is Black Order. So this team, in my opinion, is the #1 priority to start building up. Looking pretty solid there with Coulson Fury, using all the right people in the right order. I like it. Obviously waiting for Emma Frost there to take the place of Kingpin. That's going to be a really, really nice Marauders team then. This team, AIM, I like to use predominantly for war with Aimtron, replacing, probably in this one, I would probably be replacing Monstrosity with Ultron, but you could also get rid of like Researcher or Assault, whatever. Just get rid of one of them guys, not Graviton, and put Ultron in there. All of a sudden, they're pretty spicy, baby. Supernatural are a great team to boost up a little bit higher if you can, but I don't think they're a priority. I think they could be a secondary priority. They've got really nice punch-up potentials, but honestly, that Black Order team is... I love it. But, on that note, get this guy here up to level 71. Get him that extra focus, and you're going to have a lot more success with this new Brotherhood team going forward. So this team I wouldn't use for war at all, but I would put that Ultron in with the rest of AIM, and all of a sudden you're looking pretty good here. Now, this is probably one of the top 5 attack teams in the game as well, and it's really nice they're at 197k. If you can get this up to about 250k, you are pretty much good for most mercenary counters, which is, you know what, pretty much what they're built for, right? So 250k, in my opinion, you are built for most mercenary teams out there. Hydra Red Skull is a defensive team. I'd be leaving them where they are at this point in time, as I would with the Wakandans. The Mercs would be lovely to take up to 200, but we want to go a little bit more offensive than defensive right now. So the Mercs are something to keep in the back of your mind, as are the Sinister Six. I think at this point in time with the Sinister Six, even though they do unlock 2 legendaries, and I'm a huge advocate of getting the Sinister Six up, I think they're probably one of the best free-to-play teams that are very, very easily accessible, that help you grow your roster in so many different ways after getting them. At this point in time, waiting for the rest of the Sinister Six, because now it's going to be the Sinister 19 or whatever. Like, waiting for Doc Ock, waiting for Swarm, waiting for the Sinister whatever, however many there are now, could be a really good idea, because there's going to be some that get dropped out, right? I know for a fact old Fishbowl Head is gone, right? He's gone, he's done, he's dusted, he's getting replaced by everyone. The World and his wife, I'd rather take in place of that man. Then we got the Kree, Ronan, you know, what's a standard team, it is what it is. I wouldn't be working on them, I wouldn't be putting huge amounts of resources into them. maybe build them up a little bit, but you know what? It's not a priority. Resources can only go so far. Now, I'm guessing these two teams here are not Ultimate 7 teams. Now, one thing I would recommend is possibly using Hela on this team here instead, and then you've got two totally different teams. And the reason for that is Thanos is going to be your battery, right? He is your battery to keep Black Bolt charged up, to keep doing everyone stupid amounts of damage. These Gregs get in the way and they steal that energy. They steal it because they're greedy, greedy, greedy little bastards. Don't give it to them. Get Hela off that team. Let Thanos build up that Black Bolt. Probably put Thanos over here. And in Hela's place, you can put pretty much anyone you want. You know what? Who's really good and you've already got built up? Mr. Sinister could actually do a really good job for you. Removes heal blocks, gives you another clone. All that type of stuff is worth thinking about. But moving Thanos into the middle would be my advice on that one. So, all in all, man, Mr. Rapture, I think you've got a really, really nice roster, dude. And you've definitely got the foundations there for pretty much everything that you want to do and build up. It's just about, right, where do we focus on? You're focusing on Dark Dimension. You need to start thinking about global. All right, you need to start thinking about global. That is super imperative. Otherwise, you're not going to get through the first 10 nodes. Right? It's like, after them 10 nodes, you're good, man. Symbiote Spider-Man's nearly there. Hela, Black Bolt, they're all in the right place. But global is going to kick your ass, make you want to quit the game. Trust me, it's happened to me. So start thinking about global, dude, because it's a rough, rocky path going through that global one. After that, you want to get building up this team. This team is going to give you so many options in war. So many options to go where you want to go. And then obviously keeping an eye on Power Armor, Fantastic Four. And you know what the beauty thing is about this? They're actually requiring different gear. You know, these guys require tech gear. These guys are going to be requiring bio. These guys mostly require that mystic type of gear, you know, or skill. It's really nice to be able to stretch that gear and focus on different teams at the same time. But these would be my top priority after working out who you're taking Dark Dimension 3. But that is only what I would do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls at home, what would you do if you took over this roster right now? Keep in mind, with the idea of being more offensive in war and working through Dark Dimension, what would you be doing? What changes would you make to this roster? Other than that, I think you're really, really in a good space, man. And it's been a pleasure looking at this roster, dude. Guys and girls, that is going to be it for me today. I look forward to reading your comments down below. Mr. Rapture, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Guys, if you have, do me a massive favour. Give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so. Leave a comment down below because it super helps me out with the algorithm. Live stream links are down below. Discord links are down below. All that type of good stuff. But until next time, be smart, be strong, be safe, and I'll see you on the flip side. You take it easy, Commanders.